Welcome back to KP's Kingdom, cooking with KP, and today I'm going to show you how I make my chive gnocchi with ham and cheese. Look, it's a little bit more complicated than how it sounds, but look, this tastes amazing and the kids will love it. Right, potatoes, peel, right, cook as many or little as you want. Cut them into quarters, just like I'm doing right there. And as you can see, I've got a saucepan over in the background. Okay, so we're just going to cut those up into quarters, and we're going to basically boil these up and make a slightly different version of my mashed potato. Right, good dose of salt. Put that straight in on top, just like that. And we're going to cover those with water, just like I am doing there. Now, put some heat into that and get those up to a nice good simmer like that. I'm going to do that for about 20 minutes or so, and I'm going to check those with the back of a knife to make sure they are just nice and tender, just like I'm doing there. If you can cut through the back of a knife just like that, absolutely perfect. Take those off, strain them, bring them back, get our saucepan, and all we're going to do now is put the potato in and cook off any excess moisture. Okay, really simple. Alright, so you can see those steaming away. Give it a stir from time to time, and don't worry about destroying any of the potatoes, because we are going to absolutely annihilate these in a minute. Alright, so we just want to get rid of any excess moisture. A little bit of butter into a bowl, just like that, probably about 10 to 20 grams worth, and I'm going to use my potato ricer. Now, these used to be stupidly expensive. You can now pick them up for only a few bucks at IKEA. Right, give that a squeeze through, and we're going to end up with this beautiful little riced potato, just like that. Okay, really nice and easy. So just do these in little stages and do it while the potato is hot. It will work a lot easier than if the potato is cold. Alright, a little bit more butter on top, and I'm just going to use a teaspoon and some chives, fresh chives. I had some left over. Put that straight into our potato, around about half a punnock's worth, and I've just cut those up finely with a knife. You can use scissors or whatever you want. Food processor, knife just works out a little bit sweeter. Okay, I'm going to add in a little bit more chive, just like that. Really simple. Just give that all a good stir through, just like that, and I've reserved a little bit of that chive. One egg and one egg yolk that goes in. Give that a little bit of a smush down, give that a bit of a stir through, just like I'm doing right there. Now, we want this to be nice and fluffy. I'm not going to add milk or anything to it, but I am going to add some self-raising flour to that, around about 1 cup's worth. Okay, that goes in. Give that all a good stir, just like that. Really simple, and just keep stirring that through until it all comes together as a little bit of a dough, just like that. Okay, now I'm going to switch things up, and I'm going to get my gloves on, and that way I'm not going to end up with pastry or gnocchi all over my hands. A little bit of flour down on the board. Let's get that dough straight out of that bowl, just like I'm doing right there, and get all the little crumbs and everything else together. And I've left that for around about sort of 20 to 30 minutes, so it is at a room temperature. Bring all of that together as a dough, just like that. And if you think you need a little bit more flour because it's a little bit wet, just add a little bit more flour. I ended up getting this absolutely perfect. So just push all of this together, and as you can see, it's all coming together nicely. Now, my log of dough is bigger than my board, so I'm going to cut that in half, and I'm going to go again. Just keep rolling it through, just like that. And if you haven't made your own gnocchi before, A, it is satisfying, and B, it tastes amazing. As you can see, I've just cut that in half again, so I've got a little bit more manageable pieces. Right, just keep pushing that through, stretching it out, and making sure it gets nice and thin. Now I'm going to use my knife and just cut these up into little discs, just like I'm doing right there. Really difficult job to do, and takes a lot of expertise. Not. Alright, here I've got it's actually a butter pat board, and it works perfectly for adding the little ribs that we get in gnocchi. So I'm using the rib side, roll our little balls of dough along that, and we'll end up with these nice little spirals on our gnocchi, and that's going to grab that sauce and make it absolutely perfect. A little bit of olive oil in the pan. I'm going to add in probably half a clove's worth of garlic. I'm just using a garlic paste. You can use fresh if you want, doesn't really matter. Use as much or little garlic as you want. Here I've got some ham, which I've just sliced up into nice little slices, just like that, and we're going to put that in the pan as well. We're going to cook that off and get a little bit of colour on there. Not too much, just a little bit of colour. Okay, and it's already starting to smell amazing in KP's kitchen. I'm going to add in around about half a cup's worth of cream I've just bought from the supermarket. Give that all a little bit of a stir through, just like that, and as you can see, we've got a little bit of a sauce happening. A good little dash of nutmeg. Nutmeg, it always works good with a creamy sauce and pasta. Alright, I'm going to add in 3 eggs beaten. I've turned that heat right down, and we're going to stir that egg all the way through. I'm going to make a nice little bit of a sauce. Right, just nice and slow, and we're going to add in some of our cheese. I'm actually going to add in probably around about 150 to 200 grams worth of cheese. A Gruyere cheese actually works really good for this. I'm using just a blend that I'll buy, which I know has a really low melting point. Alright, give all of that a bit of a stir, and we're going to be getting ready for our next section of our recipe. And I'm going to put that sauce aside, just keep it nice and low. Right, saucepan, boiling water, salt, good handful, get that up to a nice rolling boil like that, and we're going to add our little potato gnocchis in, just like that. In the meantime, Mrs. KP's keeping an eye on my sauce on the other side of the kitchen, and while I make up all or cook these little gnocchis off. So we're going to add in a few at a time, and once they basically come to the float, which you'll see in a second, we're going to let that sit for around about 1 to 2 minutes. Look at those little puffy gnocchis. Alright, full of chives. Alright, we're going to remove those from the pan in any second now, and I've got a little bit of I've got a dish with a little bit of olive oil in there, and that's going to help everything to stop sticking together and add that little touch of flavour to it. Alright, so we do these in batches, just like that, and these don't take very long to cook at all. As I said, maybe 3-4 minutes per batch, and before you know it, you're going to end up with these beautiful little potato pillows. Alright, so remove those, put these in, and stir that olive oil through, give them a little bit of a toss. Be nice and careful, that gnocchi can be a little bit fragile. Right, our sauce is back over onto our main hot plate here in front of the camera. Give that a good stir through. As you can see, that is thickened up absolutely beautifully, and all we have to do now, a little bit of freshly cracked black pepper. We're going to put that straight in. The sauce is already salty enough, we know that. We've got the garlic in there, we've got the nutmeg in there, we've got everything ready to go. Very simple, this particular dish. Right, add your gnocchi down, and I prefer to actually put the gnocchi down first and then sauce, not mix the gnocchi with the sauce. Alright, so they can all go straight down, just like that, and we're going to add in a beautiful ham and cheese sauce that we've just created straight over the top. And I'd love to see you try and make this recipe at home, because if you haven't had something like this before, you don't know what you're missing. It is so beautiful. Alright, I'm going to add in a few more chives over the top, a little bit of colour, a little bit of extra flavour, and a little bit of Parmesan cheese or pecorino cheese. I'll leave that up to you. Add a little bit of that over the top as well. Alright, Thank you so much for watching this video. Really do appreciate it. If you like this video, hit that like button. Gives me confidence. Should make you feel warm and fuzzy too. If you don't like this video, hey, help a person out and hit that like button. Helps the algorithm. Helps get our channel out there just that little bit more. Don't forget to hit that notification bell and be notified every time a new video goes up. Leave a comment. I love reading, love responding to them, and I'll respond to all comments regardless. In the meantime, I'm off to eat my chive gnocchi with ham and cheese, and I will catch you next time. Bye.